Hello and welcome. This video is brought to you by thestreamingadvisor.com. Tailor your entertainment with streaming. What we're going to talk about in this video is two of the more popular Roku models that are going to be out there during the holiday season and, perpetually after the holidays. They are the Roku Express and the Roku Streaming Stick+. You might find either of them at a good discount during the holidays, which is pretty common. And you may wonder, well, which one is better? Is it worth paying a little bit of extra money for one or the other? What we're going to do is talk about the actual differences between them so that you can get a feel for what you're going to get for your money. So, let's start with the controllers. In this hand, I have the remote control for the Roku Streaming Stick+. Here, I have the remote control for the Roku Express. And in general, you'll notice they're the same size. They both got the little Roku tag on them. And, at first glance, you'll see that it has most of the exact same buttons. But there are some real key differences between what you get with one and what you get with the other. So, what we're going to do is show you what the Roku Streaming Stick Plus has that makes it different. First of all, Roku Streaming Stick Plus has a power button. That means that you can set the Roku Streaming Stick Plus up in order to operate your television. That means you can turn it on and turn it off. On top of that, it has volume buttons on the side. You can turn your TV up, turn your TV down, you can mute it, all from the Roku remote, for the Streaming Stick Plus. In the back, in the battery compartment, you also have a sync button. And this is used if your remote needs to be set up in order to find your device. That can also be done by taking the batteries out and putting them back in. But sometimes your system might get out of whack, and you need to get it connected again. And it helps just to have a simple button. A little green light will come on in order to indicate that it's looking for your remote and your Roku. But that is not everything. Another key feature is that this comes with the microphone built in, which means that you can use voice commands. You just press the microphone button, and that allows you to launch apps, search for things, and any other voice features Roku comes up with along the way. So, on the other hand, here is the remote for the Roku Express. You'll see there is no power button at the top. Neither side has any volume controls, and there is not a voice button. So that means that you cannot use the Roku Express remote to do any of those features that you can on the Roku Streaming Stick Plus. Also, the battery compartment does not have a sync button. So if your Roku comes out of sync with your remote, the only way to fix it would be to remove the batteries and pop them back in as the Roku is getting started. So, those are the differences with the remotes. Now, that is not the only differences between the two items. Let's start with the actual look here. The Roku Express is a little box. Some people incorrectly call this a stick because they just want everything to be a stick or a dongle. But this is its own little thing. It's shaped, like it's about the size of your palm. So it's not huge or anything. It has a sensor at the front. And it's very important to note that this sensor has got to have what's called line of sight with the remote. If the remote can't point at the item itself, it probably won't react. So that means that you cannot put the Roku Express behind your television or in any cabinet or anything like that in order to disguise it. It has to be sitting right where you can see it on your TV. Now, they do give you a way to stick it to your TV, so you can stick it on the side, on the bottom, They give you a little adhesive strip, which is helpful, but it is necessary for it to be able to see it. The Roku streaming stick, on the other hand, does not need that. This can sit right at the back of your television. It's sleek. It's about, the width of an old school pencil. It's the width of my finger here. I don't have great, big, huge, beefy fingers, but you see kind of a perspective. Another thing I want to point out is that the Roku Streaming Stick Plus has a HDMI port on the end of it. That means this can plug directly into your TV without needing an HDMI cord in order to function. The Roku Express, on the other hand, has an HDMI port, which means you've got to plug an HDMI cord into it. It does come with an HDMI cord, thank you Roku, but you have to have a separate cord in order to plug into the TV, as well as a separate power cable. And let me show you what those look like. You should probably be pretty familiar with HDMI cords at this point. You plug it into the back, and you have a USB mini, or I think a micro USB. Plug that into the back of the Roku Express as well. And so you have two cords needed to operate it. One can plug into the back of your TV as far as the USB port. This can be used to power it. You can also hook it up to an adapter if you need to in order to plug it into a power strip or something. And of course, the other cord has to plug into your HDMI port in order to deliver your video and sound. So that's everything you need to use that. On the other hand, the Roku Streaming Stick Plus, like I said, it's already small and compact. It has one little spot here, also requiring the micro USB. You plug that in, and you'll see that's the only cord you need because, as I said, it has an HDMI port on the end, which means you don't need an extra cord to hook this up to anything. Again, like the Express, you can power your device using this cord on most TVs. You may have a television that doesn't have the latest USB strength, and so, again, you can plug this in with an adapter. It comes with one. Another more important point is that the Roku Streaming Stick Plus has this built-in adapter. And what this does is it's an amplifier that helps you get a stronger internet signal. So if you're using Wi-Fi, which is completely required by this device, it will allow you to double the strength of that Wi-Fi strength so that you can set it up in different places in the house and get a good signal out of it. So that's sort of in a nutshell, more cords, less cords, more features on the remote, less features on the remote. Again, the Roku Streaming Stick Plus does not need line of sight. You can have this behind anything you want. You can have it plugged into your home theater system, whatever sorts of devices you've got set up. This one, it's going to require you to be able to not only see it, but be able to point the remote at it. And that's that. That's the biggest differences. One thing that they both share is they both have a reset button built in. On the Roku stick here, it's over on the side. If your Roku is really malfunctioning and you want to just set it back to factory settings, you can just use that. It has to be powered. If it's plugged in and powered, you press that button. On the Roku Express, there's also a reset button right here at the end. The cool thing about both of them is that it doesn't require you to have any kind of a special tool or a toothpick or anything to reach it. You can reach them both with a normal human finger. But I suggest you use your own. Don't cut off any fingers. So, that's that. That is the Roku Express and the Roku Streaming Stick Plus in a head-to-head setup. If you're wondering, there is definitely a power difference between the Streaming Stick Plus and the Roku Express. The Streaming Stick Plus is faster, and it also is going to give you a better quality of your picture. You can get up to full 4K pictures with the Roku Express. Excuse me, with the Roku Streaming Stick Plus, while the Roku Express here tops out at 1080p. Now, 1080p is a pretty good picture. I mean, it used to be the top of the line as far as HD goes. If you wanted to, spend a little bit more money, you can actually get a Roku Express Plus that allows for 4K picture, but still, the performance you get from the streaming stick, as well as the lack of extra wires, is why I typically recommend the Roku Streaming Stick Plus as the go-to less expensive Roku over something like the Roku Ultra, which has more bells and whistles, but is a little bit more expensive. If you want the much more expensive one, go with the Roku Ultra. It's got some great features, including a lost remote finder, but that's a topic for a different video. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please subscribe to our channel, share this video with your friends, and as always, I'm Ryan Downey, the Streaming Advisor. Stream on, my friends.